Woo! Woo!
All right.
God, it sucks being a producer. This fucking sucks. I hate it. It's so much anxiety.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome to my life. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good, man. We're kind of changing the pace of things a little bit. We're doing the nighttime recordings and whatnot.
It is a nighttime recording. It's true.
Yeah.
I feel
it's
it
very
feels
weird.
It is very weird, but I mean, my juices do be flowing in the nighttime these days. I mean, I know you're converting it to a morning person, but there's a certain vibe with nighttime recordings in general that's like, or just nighttime vibes, where you talk a little differently, you speak a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're a little bit more free. You're not necessarily like just woken up type of vibe, but you're also not quite too sleepy vibe. It's kind of weird, right? Because when we do our normal recording, both of us are like, damn, I'm about to slam a nap right after this,
Yeah, for sure.
But this one's chiller.
It definitely is an entirely different vibe when it's nighttime and both of us have adult beverages, because both of us are over the age of 21. If you're not,
do have some adult beverages. For me, I have some Long Island iced tea. We've had these things in our fridge, me and my mom. My mom picks these things up every now and then, just random alcoholic things she finds on her trip to Winco or Costco. And there's these Chi-Chis. Chi-Chis, right?
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
I can't quite tell you if they're good or not, because my standards are pretty baseline normal. Like I'm okay with the taste of alcohol to an extent.
Right.
But based off of other people, like my mom, she's like, oh, this shit fucking sucks. So, and I would agree. It's very strong for no reason. I mean, it's a Long Island tea. This one's 12.5%. But it's not that the alcohol is strong. It's the taste itself is like really weirdly condensed. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It like doesn't taste good, if that makes sense. Because we had like they have like margaritas, and they had all those kind of fun cocktail stuff. And the the taste was just so like concentrated, it just didn't taste good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it has a strong taste, and it tastes a lot like bad. And I totally understand that. And I mean, I'm drinking a Diet Coke that has some rum in it, and I just didn't really feel like bringing a glass upstairs, if I'm being 100% honest.
Diet, though, nice.
Diet. That's all we had.
I mean, hey, it's good. Washing yourself, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we cheers?
Yes.
I didn't shake it. Hopefully, I didn't need to shake it, because.
Oh God.
Well, okay. Let me shake it first.
What if you shake it and you're not supposed to?
Why would I not? I mean, you have to stir it. And this has been sitting in our fridge for literally at least a year.
Oh. Well, while he's doing that, I'll sit here and be very, oh God, and be very concerned about his well-being. I'm not going to shake this because it's open. Oh shit. Bartender Anuki. Oh God.
It's not carbonated. It's not gonna,
Okay.
it's not gonna explode.
There was a part of me that thought it was carbonated, and so I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be bad."
Oh no, love. Oh no, bruv.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, let's re-cheers to Uned.
Uned.
This is not a shot, by the way. This is, But
yeah, please don't just pound that entire thing. It's
way too strong to do that, anyways. Okay.
That's fair.
Oh my.
Why did you bring a drink that you knew was going to be bad?
Oh, yeah, it's just not good. Jeez. It's not even strong. It's been sitting, so I feel like, no, it's alcohol, so it distills, so it wouldn't lose its alcohol, right? Like it wouldn't lose its pungence.
I don't think so.
That's not how that works, right? It ferments in a way, right? Because I'm not a professional. Although I was busting out that thing.
Oh yeah, bartender shake.
Yeah. It just doesn't taste good, is all. I do like
Also-
Long Island iced teas because they're great. Who
Yeah.
doesn't like Long Island iced teas? But yeah, I mean, what do you expect from this plastic bottle, little tiny thing my mom found at Winco for probably like $1?
Also, I think the song just restarted.
It's a loop,
Oh.
like a 9-minute loop.
Oh,
from
okay.
Herta's Office from Star Rail,
Gotcha.
the game I've been playing a ton. I love this OST so much. It's like the most vibey OST. Like it's just, it's this mix of, it's kind of lo-fi, but okay, I'm gonna be honest. This might be controversial, Zach.
Okay.
We're starting with a hot take. I'm sorry. I'm not actually the largest fan of lo-fi. I don't know if that picked
I
up.
mean, that's fair.
I don't dislike it. Does it sound familiar? I don't dislike lo-fi. It's just there's something about it that doesn't really, like, you wouldn't find me listening to it, basically.
For sure.
Unless it was literally just for BGM, like for a stream, because oftentimes
Yeah.
these lo-fi things are non-copyright. And it's like, okay, well,
When in Rome.
when in Rome, right? But you wouldn't catch me
Yeah.
or listening to lo-fi very often. Even, I know, dare I say it, the lo-fi study girl. I know, I'm not in her streams. I'm sorry.
How
Shame on
dare
me.
You?
How dare I
How
know,
dare
right?
you?
Study with her. I can't. I know. I'm a big Ghibli fan. I love that. I know that's a very important video to YouTube. That very important stream. I know when it finally got taken down. Oh, people were mad, Zach. Oh, people were mad.
Bro, and they came back and they have a dude guy now. Like
They
a
have a-
hi-fi guy.
They have a hi-fi guy. What do you mean?
Yeah, they have lo-fi girl and then they also have hi-fi guy.
Oh, what is hi-fi guy? What is hi-fi? Is it just normal music?
I don't know.
Well, hi-fi is an audiophile term for like high fidelity, right? Music. So high bit rate, high output, high. You know what I mean?
I don't know. The way that I think about it, and granted, I should not be speaking on this because, quite honestly, I barely know what the hell I'm talking about. But from listening,
the things we talk about in this podcast, we had nothing, so it's all good.
cool. I'm glad we're on the same page. It's more of like a high energy type thing.
Oh.
To my knowledge, I think the theme is kind of like lo-fi music to study to and then hi-fi music to work out to.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
So it's like
yeah.
it's electronic music, but also at the same time it's more like energetic and upbeat in the type of music that they play.
Okay.
And the lo-fi is more so kind of this type of like chill vibe, you know?
Right. No, that makes sense. That I should have put that together. But to be fair, the hi-fi that I know is high fidelity, not just, they're just using it differently, which is fine. That's fine. Because lo-fi in of itself, I don't think it even abbreviates to anything. Unless it does.
I don't know.
Case, low,
I mean,
low could be low. That would make sense. But low fidelity doesn't quite make sense for that genre, at least to me.
I mean, when I think of lo-fi, I just think of like phone recordings of stuff.
Right.
Also, I didn't realize this until we started, and then we just kind of got the ball rolling, and I was scared. The music is so loud in my headphones.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
You could probably turn it down on Watch Together. It's over now, though.
Oh, okay.
What were we talking about?
My set's different. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Hi-fi
There's just
and
a guitar
lo-fi.
there. Lo-fi, hi-fi. I mean, I'm not going to
Yeah.
go into it because I'm also not qualified to talk about it, but it makes sense that it'd be hi-fi energy, lo-fi energy. Oh yeah, I was talking like what about this lo-fi? You know what I'm talking? What is it about? I don't know what.
Geez, Rick.
Oh geez, Rick. I don't think lo-fi means low fidelity because that's not how that would work. That would just mean bad audio. So,
Right.
yeah, but yeah, that's right. I'm not the biggest fan of lo-fi. Like, I don't find myself listening to it very often. But I do agree, like, for what it's for, like its purpose, it does have that chill aspect to it, and I can give it that because it's what it's for. So that's why it works really well for background music, things like that. I know some restaurants, they'll throw in lo-fi if they don't want to do some
Sick.
if they don't want to do just pop music radio or just whatever, just lo-fi for a different type of vibe.
Bro, I respect that so much.
Yeah, I like that. Just
Yeah.
to be a little different, because honestly, you go into a music. The store music definitely helps like with everything, since it forces an ambiance, and then you have to kind of build your area, I guess, your environment around that. In my opinion,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in the Korean barbecue place I went to, I mean, they're gonna play K-pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's how it's gonna work. I went to
Right.
this. We went when I went to pick up my parents and my brother from the airport. When they're from their trip to Arizona, it was when I went to pick them up. We decided, yeah, it's like 6. We're not driving back to Vancouver. That's a terrible idea. So we decided to get dinner, and nearby the airport, there's like a not a it's like a rest area. I don't know if you've ever been there. I mean, I don't know how many times you take a trip to the airport to drop people off or not.
Oh God, so many.
Okay. Well, there's this rest area basically if you're like early and you're not going to go to departure right away to pick up. There's a little it's like a gas station almost, but there's like little other mini restaurants. There's a Dutch Bros and there's a sushi place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we went to we decided let's just we were driving back, and then they were like, oh, let's get somewhere in Portland, and like sure, and then I was like, oh, there was like a sushi place where I was sitting, oh, let's go there, and like what, and then the turn was literally right there, like so yeah, that sucked. That was very scary, but they told me to go, so I had to do what I had to do.
I'm just following directions.
Yeah, the food was okay. Anyways, yeah, I thought it was called Kobe, right? And Kobe is a city in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Chinese restaurant, and they were playing K-pop.
What?
Yes. So now,
okay.
just
wait. Okay.
I mean, it's Asian, it's Asia. The people,
Asia.
it's Asia. Oh, look at this Asian restaurant. Seems Asian to me. You know what I mean?
They're playing Asian music.
They're playing Asian music. Seems Asian to me. What's the difference? See, maybe so. In that regard, it's fine. Very confusing though,
bro. It's so funny that you bring something like that up, because there are some people out there who just don't understand the specific scenarios where certain genres of music make sense. Like, I'm not just going to be laying down getting ready for a nap listening to deathcore, like there's a different vibe to like every different scenario that you're in, and like when you're in a Korean restaurant and they're listening to K-pop, like yeah, that makes sense because it's like, oh yeah, Korea. Duh. But a place that's named after a city in Japan that's playing K-pop, and Japan is not even.
Yeah, the restaurant is Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah, Japan isn't even a continent. Like it's not even in the same continent. Is it?
It is the same continent. It's an island, but
Well,
it is
it's
the same continent.
Asia?
You mean the same country? Oh, I thought about Japan. You said Japan.
Yeah, Japan and China.
They're
Chinese
two different
food.
countries, but they're the same continent. Asia is the continent.
Is
They're both in
Japan
Asia.
technically a continent? Or like in the same. My brain is hurting. Anyways,
Wow. Is Hawaii a continent, Zach?
no, it's an island state.
There you go.
Of the United. Listen, man.
A-Rex.
I didn't say that I passed geography. Like, I barely graduated high school. Your expectations of me are too fucking high.
It's fair. It's fair.
But yeah, it is really funny when you see those really bizarre scenarios where every single sense is just very confused. Like, you're seeing a sign that says the name of a city in Japan, and then it's a Chinese food place. So you're just like, wait, that doesn't. And then they're playing K-pop, and then you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna say this though. That I know that's a bad thing, but hear me out, okay? So there is also this restaurant. I think we may have eaten there before, called Ruby Thai. It's in the mall food court.
I think is that the place
It's
that you used
right
to go
next
to
to
lunch
Panda.
all the time?
It's the place where I used to go
yeah.
to lunch sometime. There's Panda,
Okay.
and then there's Ruby Thai.
Mm-hmm.
Do not be confused. It's not Thai food. It's Chinese food. The people running it is Chinese. There's some food called spicy Thai chicken, Thai noodle. It's not. Those are wontons. It is Chinese food. It is Chinese marinated and styled fried chicken. It is Chinese. But Zach,
Wait.
that shit is bussin'. That
Bro.
shit is so good. I ate
Okay.
there every single day for lunch.
Okay. I will say some of the weirdest fucking restaurants I've ever been to have just absolutely slapped for no reason.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
just random like oh man, I can't even
You
think
can
of
say
an
just
example.
run down restaurants. Run down restaurants that probably is faking their health inspector report. There's definitely a cockroach back there or up here. But damn, that food slaps.
Bro, oh my god. The best Mexican food I have ever had in my entire life was inside of a supermarket.
Oh,
It was like a
hell
little
yeah.
restaurant that was in the very back of
Ooh.
a little supermarket. So good. Best tacos I've ever had. But like, those random ass taco trucks that have like the menu written out on like a whiteboard
Oh,
in
yeah.
the front and like,
Yeah.
they're like cash only, and it's like I feel like they're gonna steal my money or spit in my food. But it is
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
It's like the
oh man.
the whiteboard is like tacos $5 and then burritos $5, and it's not like Oregon burrito, this taco with this and that. No, it's taco. You get tacos. It's not this type of no, it's tacos.
Carne
It's like
asada.
It's not tacos. It's like you go to an Asian restaurant and it's like chicken. Oh, okay, chicken, beef, pork. Oh, now it's never gonna be like that, but that's how it would be like.
Bro,
And that's what I respect them for.
I mean, some of the best food I've ever had was in food trucks from just like randomly strewn about in Portland. Like,
Yeah, food trucks hit different. They really do.
bro, they really do. Like, I don't understand how some people just have the patience to just be like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to take my kitchen and move it somewhere else.
And push it somewhere else.
Take Bikini Bottom.
I agree with that. I think part of it is psychological. I think part of it is you go to a food truck, and as long as you get that experience, you kind of, bear with me, taste that in your food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way. Because food is an experience.
Right.
As that sounds so, you know what I mean, pretentious for me to say.
Yeah.
But it really is. Everything about it, whether it's the music, the customer service, the employees, everything, it is quite the service. Even if like you go into a little small Asian store and the Chinese girl is like, "What do you want?" She's like yelling at you. She's like, he's angry.
Yeah.
What do you want to get? Oh, can I get chicken? What kind of chicken?
Yeah.
That's
But,
part of
like,
the experience. That is some authentic Asian shit. She's not gonna be patient. She's not here to talk. Unless you're Chinese too. She's not here to talk. It's just how it is.
She speaks enough English to do her job, and that's it. Literally that's it. And
It's like, hey, can I is there any gluten here? What's gluten? Never mind.
bread. We have breaded chicken. But like talking about like the food truck experience is so funny because I think about food trucks and I think of three things that are always going to be consistent, right? You're going to be eating out of a paper plate or like off of a paper plate or off of like
the
aluminum
boxes.
foil.
Oh yeah,
or the
aluminum
boxes,
foil,
yeah.
the styrofoam boxes, which I actually hate because I don't like styrofoam, but
So that's one. Their menu is gonna make little to no fucking sense, regardless of what kind of restaurant it is, right?
Oh yeah, it never makes sense.
And you're always gonna be eating that shit on a fucking park bench, just like right outside the restaurant.
Oh, yeah,
like
bud.
that's just that's just the way it goes, man. And honestly, I think that that's what makes it great, because this just makes me think of a time when I was over in Hawaii and we were just exploring around the island. I was with both of my brothers and my sister-in-law, and we were just kind of dicking around, just like going around the island, seeing all the spots, you know, going to the fuck, I can't think of the name of the company that does all the pineapples and shit. I don't know. Dole, that's what it is.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
It is Dole. That's funny. Why would I know that? Because I see it everywhere. I've seen it since I've grown up. You're right. It is Dole. That's so funny.
Oh my god. So
if it's not Dole, who else?
Bro, Dole pineapples are the best pineapples. Fucking prove me wrong,
Dole.
Reddit.
That's so funny.
So
this guy said
we
Dole.
So we went to this little spot that had a bunch of different food trucks, and I legit only bought ice cream just because that was the only thing that sounded appetizing at the time. And it's kind of funny because that was the place where I went and did the consult to get my leg tattooed.
Oh, right.
And so yeah, it's so funny because like I ordered my ice cream, and then right after that it just started pouring down rain, and we were just sitting under this tiny dinky umbrella, just eating our ice cream, just having a grand old time. We're like, oh, this is great. And like, you know, Kevin and I are from Washington, and so we see rain all the fucking time, but it's like 75 and raining, and the rain is warm. So I'm like, I don't care. I really don't give a shit. But yeah, I went and got on the phone, made the tattoo consult, and then, you know, we just went about our day after that. But yeah, that was a really, really interesting day.
Yeah, but
Just
you remember that though. You remember that experience.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. When food is an experience, that whole you've encapsulated that moment of just eating ice cream in Hawaii under this dinky little probably bench umbrella apparatus thing, or hood roof thing, whatever it is. And you remember that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why these things need to be an experience. I went to it. Sorry to interrupt you. I apologize. Just really super quick interjection. But the same thing. Just the other weekend, we went to Seattle with some friends. Chris and Shaw, he was on here before. TJ. We went there. Jamie as well. Shout out Jamie. It's been a while. We went there and we went to a Chinese restaurant while we were just walking around. And the way it kind of works is kind of like, have you ever had dim sum? Right. So it's like you just order. It's a lot of kind of just big Asian type of way of eating, where you just order platters and then you just share it amongst everybody else. So there was kind of that. There's just the silliest thing. This guy, our waiter, it's absolute thug, but he's just this old guy just trying to get this is a packed restaurant right now. It's a little tiny little like mini cubby restaurant thing in Seattle, you know, with
I fucking love those.
No bigger than this studio, and it's like he was like, "What do you want?" And it's like, "Okay, can I get this and this and that?" And I'm right next to him, right? He's right here, and he's writing on his notepad. He's writing apps. He's fucking writing scribbles. Like I've seen kanji, Zach. I've seen Chinese notation. He's you don't understand, Zach. It was so fucking funny. And he wasn't even looking when he was writing it either. He's like, can I get beef broccoli? Okay. And then can I get a chow mein? Okay. Oh no, this is the funniest shit. So I ordered beef broccoli, right? But there's two beef broccoli. There's beef broccoli and beef and Chinese broccoli. There's a difference between broccoli and Chinese broccoli. Chinese broccoli is like this longer, stringy type of thing. It's hard to explain. It's closer, in my opinion, to like bok choy kind of in a way. It might actually just be bok choy in my opinion, but it's just kind of a longer and it's a long boy broccoli basically. And my friend catches that, Monica, and she goes, "Oh, actually, it was so I say, can I get beef broccoli?" He said, "Okay, beef broccoli," and then Monica goes, "Oh, it's actually the Chinese broccoli." He's like, "Oh, okay," and does this. He just fucking hits a line just on his notes. And that means it's Chinese broccoli. I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Homie's making it look like he's trying to check and see if his pen still has fucking ink in it.
Bro,
and you're just sitting there like, what kind of hieroglyphics are you putting in that fucking notepad right now?
It was incredible. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Oh my God. Oh, Chinese broccoli. Okay, next. I'm like, what? How does that mean Chinese now? How does that mean? I don't understand. I don't know if that's actual Chinese shit going on, but it was so funny. And because of that, that experience was awesome, and the food was great. We tipped that boy real well. It was great. Bro. Oh my God, it was so funny.
You know, I think it's funny that we're talking about like food trucks and stuff because I'm hungry.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right?
But the first food truck experience that I had, I was probably like 13 or 14, and I went with my family, and my family is really close with my neighbors, like my next door neighbors. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up going with them down to Portland because the husband, or my dad's friend, Ammon, he is like a food connoisseur. Like he's fucking hilarious. I love him. So he was like, "Oh, dude, I found these food trucks over in Portland. Like, we need to go." And my dad was like, "Okay, yeah, let's bring the whole family. Like, let's just have a time." And he ended up finding this place, this little. It was like almost like a cul-de-sac of food trucks. It was so fascinating, and we ended up going to all of the different places, just kind of seeing what they had. And Ammon was like, "Oh, dude, you have to try this." And it was this macaroni and cheese that had bacon in it. Ooh. And it was like a 4-cheese mac and cheese, and it had bacon in it, and it had like a little bit of pepper on it, you know? Like, oh dude, it was so good. Best mac and cheese.
So good.
The best mac and cheese I have ever had in my entire life. And it's so funny when I think back at that, because like it's such a weirdly specific moment that I remember, but like, you know, just kind of like taking a step back too, it's like your memories of things can be so particular and specific. Like, you know, when I think back to the days where you would come over to my house and we would play like Black Ops 2 Zombies, you know, like that. It's just like you and I both sitting in the old gamer chairs, which unfortunately we don't have anymore because they were busted. But you know, like just those
in the future
random
edition
things.
Of this podcast, we're gonna get 4 of those.
Oh, bro, I would
like $20 off Facebook Marketplace.
Same ones, bro.
Buy the same exact ones from the person you sold it to.
I'm pretty sure we threw those away because we thrashed those things. But
yeah,
bro, all I remember from
Sorry, go on.
While you're looking that up, I'll kind of go down memory lane with those chairs because it's fucking hilarious. Rocking gaming chairs. So,
oh, my Amazon is gonna be so bad now.
Excuse me. So, what I remember from those chairs is that they didn't have any back support on them. Please tell me you found them.
Oh yeah, I did. Keep going.
Oh my God. So they didn't have any back support on them. It was just like the tension of the fabric on the front that would be the back support.
Right.
And I remember there was one time where I tried to sleep in one of those fuckers, and it was
yeah.
Bro, I was like 13, and I felt like I needed to go to the chiropractor after that.
Yeah, that's bad. You're literally like this.
Yeah,
like
basically.
You're like clamshelled almost.
Right.
Yeah, that's bad.
And it rocks like this chair, except for the only difference is that this actually has like an ergonomic, you know, thing to it, and those chairs did not, and they were made out of plywood and cheap fabric. So yeah, dude, I spent so much time in those fucking chairs. Like, I feel like that's why I have mild scoliosis.
Okay.
Dude, I was at the chiropractor today, and I was talking.
Listen,
he was
I'm
like,
level with you.
I'm a level with you. Nah, he was saying that he thought that I had mild scoliosis. Like my spine kind of did one of
Sure,
You know,
yeah.
like it kind of went a little bit cattywampus, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's so funny. Every chiropractor I've gone to, it's always been like a, huh, that's weird. And then like I I always get so scared because I'm just like, uh, what does that mean? And like, you know, every chiropractor I've gone to, they've been like, hey, can you come like 3 times a week? And I'm like, bro, I can't afford that shit. And they're like, oh, well, that's kind of like what you need to get your back to be unfucked.
Damn.
Because it's
All
like,
because of this damn gaming. This one night when you slept on a gaming chair, and
that's,
your back obtained scoliosis.
that's what happened.
Not multiple scoliosis, just one single scoliosis. Just one.
One
One
single
of them.
vertebrae.
One single scoliosis. How many
Hi, can I have a
scoliosis you got? Oh, I got one.
Hi, can I have a small scoliosis, please?
So I found this gaming chair. This one has
Oh my
RGB.
Bro.
Oh, it's sorry, it's overexposed. Let me turn it down a bit. This one has RGB. That one's pretty cool. There we go.
Oh my god. And it has arms too.
It does have. Oh, but this one is $150. Yeah, but here's the thing. These are really expensive. So there's this one.
Bro.
Oh, but because they have like speakers and shit, we don't need the speakers.
Yeah.
It just needs to exist. Yeah, because these ones. So there's this one that's $55. This is the cheapest one that's on Amazon. I gotta turn my. There we go. I gotta turn the brightness all the way down. Wait, am I gonna dox myself? I've done this a couple times now. Okay.
Doxed yourself?
Yeah. There's that one. It's $55. Looks fucking stupid.
That looks pretty similar to.
Oh, but there's a
The
black one.
ones-
There's a black version, so that works out.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's pretty close to. What the?
I
Fuck
mean,
was
they can
flying
only
at my
look
face?
so different, you know.
I know, but like that same type of like weirdly phallic shaped like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. It's
You
us
know?
right here. It's us. Look at it. Oh, it's us.
Bro.
Oh, we're gaming.
Oh my god.
Oh, Zach,
Oh my
we're
God.
gaming.
Black Ops 2 Zombies.
There's
Bro.
Black Ops 2
Okay,
Zombies right there.
before I forget,
Yeah, yeah.
Arthur,
Mhm.
we need to play Black Ops 2 Zombies again, or Black Ops 3
Fuck yeah.
Zombies.
Oh
Fuck
yeah,
yeah,
of
bud.
course. Oh yeah.
Dude, I
I'll be
love
making
that.
videos again on the second
I
channel.
know.
We'll do a Black Ops 3 Zombies video again with like Sora and shit. That'd be so fun.
That'd be cool. But yeah, dude, it's really funny the stupid random shit that I remember from when I was younger. Like especially when it comes to like the friendships that I've had, especially like middle school era, because that was like I don't know why. Like I don't remember much of high school other than like the ASL show.
Yeah, there's not much to
Doing-
remember for high school. I don't know. I think we're just too busy in our studies, or rather freaking out and stressing over our studies. When middle school, I mean, you know how to do division? Yeah, you're probably fine. Go play.
Bro. So, one thing that I remember from middle school very, very vividly, and like middle
Is it
school
gonna
and
be the
high
thing I
school for
think it
me,
is. It might be, unless it's something specific to you.
I'm pretty sure it's specific to me,
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is a character on your Wii that we created for me at one point, like, 10 years ago. Um, I don't know where that is or how accurate it was to me at the time, but I feel like it was kind of a meme. Anyways, what I remember is when I was in 6th grade, I our old middle school band director, he asked me to be in their 7th and 8th grade band
Mhm.
because they needed more people, and they were like, "Oh, you can play the music, like whatever, that's fine." And my grades,
music.
well, like I could play the music that they were doing for
Oh, no,
7th and
I
8th
was just
grade
saying.
band.
Oh, I can play the music. I know how to
I
play the
could do
music.
the toot toots. The burp, 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 burp. My grades were so bad that I had to stop doing that. Like, when I talk
Really?
about how I barely graduated high school, like I feel like people don't realize that I was just bad at fucking school. Like,
Okay,
I
but was
could-
it that you were like, because this is middle school. This is addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Was it that you weren't quote unquote smart, You couldn't grasp the concept, or you couldn't be asked to do the work.
Oh, dude, I couldn't be bothered to do the work.
See, that's the difference, right? Because right now, the way you're the way you're painting yourself is, man, that shit sucked. There was these X's. I don't know what the fuck. It's a letter. Why is it in math? You know, it's like, oh god.
Y equals mx plus b. What the fuck does that mean?
They gave me this multiplication table. I can't eat off of this. Yeah, I'm like, come on, Zach.
Yeah. I guess I do kind of.
Long division. What about short division?
Yeah. Why that shit so long? But I guess I realized that I do kind of sell myself short with like talking about school and stuff. Like, oh yeah, I dropped out of college. Like I barely graduated high school. It's not because the funniest part is that the reason why I was able to graduate in the first place was because I did well on the testing. Like I grasped all the things that I needed to. It was just like getting myself to sit down and do pretty much anything was really hard. Just because I don't know. I don't know if it's like an ADHD thing or like
I mean, or it's just boring. I mean, just the homework was heavily weighted just in general, especially in middle school. Like if you miss homework, you just don't, you're just not supposed to do that. You miss homework, you're fucked. You know what I mean? You just do your homework and you do your do the schoolwork. I got ripped too a lot because I just never did it. So, yeah.
I mean, and in high school especially, like once I kind of decided that I wanted to do stuff, like I mean, I talk about doing credit recovery and all of that kind of stuff, and then I realized like, oh yeah, you know, I did, what did I say, 4 credits worth of classes in 3 months, 4 months, and like that should have taken me the entire year, the entire school year, and it didn't, because I was just like, this is bullshit. I'm gonna try to find every and any way for me to be able to get this done so I can graduate, and I did, and I graduated, and it was like, woo, yay, and now I'm here sitting.
Well, if that doesn't tell you that 4 years of high school could be condensed into 4 months, I don't know what can. I don't know what I don't know what else can tell anybody otherwise. All right, I'd rather just sit there and run with spikes on my feet very fast in a straight line than have to learn calculus.
Yeah, and algebra 2.
And algebra 2.
I never took algebra 2, by the way.
You didn't? Wow, interesting.
No.
You know, I was presented an algebra question, and I was... Okay, it wasn't algebra. It was algebra, but it ended up being calculus. But it was it was just like a, you know, like a good old classic find x, right? X squared plus something x plus something. You know what I mean? Just a good old parabola, find x or whatever. Turned out to be calculus, but before I even decided it was calculus, I was okay. So this is, bear with me, Zach. Bear with me. So there's this anime that you probably shouldn't watch. It's called Tokyo Heroes Eros. It's not very good, but the manga is great and I like the artist. It's an ecchi anime, you know, if you want a little bit of fun, but it's also, but you know, it's ecchi, but it's also not good. So it's like not worth watching. It's like not even worth it. But there's a point.
That's tragic.
Yeah, I know, right? But there's a scene where she's up in class and she's trying to like solve a question, like a, you know, and it's like everybody's like naked because that's obviously how that works, right? But then there's a equation on the chalkboard. I'm like, now hold on a second.
Can I solve that shit?
Can I? So I paused and I busted out my notebook and I gave it a shot. I'm lying, by the way. It was just on a tweet. I wasn't actually just watching it. I did watch it though, and it's absolute garbage. But I mean, it was just recently. I was just on Twitter and someone tweeted it, and it was just like, you know, the tweet was obviously because of some, you know, ecchi stuff, right? But I was like, now hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
Now wait a minute.
Can I solve that shit?
That doesn't look solvable. I don't think so. No, I genuinely tried. I tried to solve for x. I didn't have a graphing calculator. I remember it was like x squared. I think it was plus 5x minus 4 or something like that. And that doesn't lie on, I don't think, any of the axes. I forget. It's been so long. I can't remember what, if you can't find what x is, why the reason is. But you've never done calculus, right?
No.
Do you know about imaginary numbers?
Kinda.
Right. So imaginary numbers is the bane of calculus. Calculus
Bro.
is imaginary numbers. I
Okay, hang on.
no.
1 second.
Go on and say it
Tangent
because no. Go on and say it because I agree with you. Go on.
What? Why the fuck them numbers imaginary, bro? Like, okay, so
Because they don't
People are-
exist to our mortal eyes, Zach. You need a higher understanding to find numbers
Here-
within a bed of information that we can't grasp.
So here's my question, right? When people are talking about like the practicality of learning math and everything like that, like, you know, this is the perfect example of how much bullshit that is, right? Because they're talking about numbers that don't even exist, and they're just like, yeah, so there's these numbers that you can't see that have nothing to do with what you're doing right now. Unless, and then that's basically
Yeah.
that's
And
basically what
unless is
calculus
calculus is that. But what if though? What if you did have something to do with real life? There are applications where it does matter, but those are so specific that you will never encounter them in your life. So what
Mechanical
imaginary numbers
engineering?
are, probably. So what imaginary numbers is, if I remember correctly, it is oh God, what is it? So it's represented by a variable, and it's I for imaginary, right? I represents or is equal to, I guess, the square root of -1, because the square root of -1 is not possible. Because do you know what the square root is?
Oh yeah.
Right? It's something times itself. So
Mhm.
one is the square root of 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1, right?
Right.
But something times itself cannot be negative.
Right,
Never.
because a negative times a negative
Is a positive. And positive times positive is a positive. So, but what if, let's see, but what if there was an application of which negative ones, or the square root of -1 had to exist? This is where I comes in, and that's what an imaginary number is. I represents square root of -1. And then you go through the long course of, if that was a case, how would you be able to, so I respect it in the sense of its problem solving, but it's just so far off into a scope that doesn't necessarily need to happen, or
Right.
that doesn't necessarily need to be learned, that it's like if you're going into, you know, energy engineering, mechanical engineering, whatever, you know, and you need to learn that type of engineering calculus type shit, you know, and it is applicable, then that's great. I'm
Right.
not an engineer. I'm not going to be an engineer. The people in my class in AP Calculus in 12th grade, maybe half of them were going to be engineers. What about the other half? What about us? What are we here for? Otherwise, you have to take AP Statistics.
Fuck
Nobody
you.
wants to take AP Statistics. Statistics is shit. I hate
Bro.
statistics. Who wants to look at bar graphs and trends and shit? Who does that?
Oh my god. That is the most annoying
Why can't
shit.
you just stop at algebra? I could see algebra and algebra 2 being applicable in real life. You can make your cases for that. There are story problems for that, right? Sure.
What about-
I think that's as far as you need to go.
What about geometry? What about geometry?
Geometry?
I said geometry.
Geometry.
I said it as
What about
I said it as a
geometry?
joke. Honestly,
I mean, but
I-
but in our school it was geometry, trigonometry. They were combined, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was algebra 2 trick.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Um
Geometry makes
So-
sense, I guess, but I would put that underneath algebra 2 for that reason.
so do you want to know something fantastic?
Sure. Yeah.
So I
what have you done, Zach?
did not
You don't
I
tell me you
cheesed
didn't
this-
do. Okay.
I cheesed the system. So I didn't do algebra 2. I didn't do trig. I did not do the geometry class that I took was some type of like applied class that was like it covered geometry topics, but it also it covered like I think the basis of the class was like for people who or like for applying it to like construction and like all of that kind of stuff, like figuring out like the surface area of something or like, you know, something along those lines where
Sure.
it was applicable. I didn't take like a traditional geometry class because
Interesting. Yeah.
so what happened? You see, what had happened was
Uh-huh.
what happened was I ended up taking first semester algebra 1, whatever. I passed it. It was fine. Second semester, the teacher I had literally was so shit at her job. My class was her last class teaching.
Oh, geez.
And so everybody failed her class. And then for some reason, they were like, you know what? Fuck you in particular. You get to retake it. And so I had to retake algebra. And then first semester, I had another shitty teacher. Or no, I think it was first semester, I had a good teacher. Second semester, I had a shit teacher. Random thing. Why the fuck did they have you switch teachers in between semesters for
Yeah,
teaching a
that
class?
I don't know. That's
That
definitely
was so
a weird
fucked.
thing. There was absolutely no reason for that. There's actually not a reason I can think, unless those teachers specifically had a like schedule change. Why did you why would you have to change periods into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
to
no,
take the
it
same
makes,
classes.
It makes no fucking sense. Anywho,
No, go ahead. No, that's actually so stupid. I wonder if other schools do that. It's halfway through the school year, you just change periods. Like if you had PE second period and ASL third period and math fourth period, and then they just went whoop, and it's the same
Yeah.
exact class, but now the same exact classes, except different periods, and now you have to change teachers, and now your new teacher has to assimilate with your new students, and it's like this thing. It's like,
what are we doing here?
what are we doing? What was this pointless maneuver? Why don't we just stay in the same
So-
classes? No, that is stupid.
So-
That made me so angry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, trust me. I know. So I ended up passing first semester, and then I had an equally shitty teacher second semester, my second year taking algebra 1. And then I ended up passing the algebra EOC. And they were like, I mean, you have the credits. And then I ended up, oh God, did I not take a math class my sophomore year?
That's
or
crazy
something?
if you didn't. That's crazy.
I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure you only need 3 years of math, right? That sounds right, but I'm not 100% certain.
I'm not 100% certain either.
Anywho,
Maybe it's for college. I can't remember. It depends. But yeah, go ahead.
Anywho, so basically what I ended up doing was I ended up taking, I think it was like applied energistics or something like that. It was like this weird fucking
Minecraft mod.
halfway, huh?
The Minecraft
Oh,
mod.
wait, applied energistics is totally a fucking,
We gotta increase our storage system, Zach. We need the hard drives.
bro,
We're done with chests.
we need that storage system.
Storage system.
How the
applied
fuck?
energy. No, it's so funny. You were saying applied something earlier, and I thought the exact same thing. I was like, applied. You said applied something. You said applied, and you paused, and I was like, in my head, energistics.
Bro, okay, no.
That's so funny.
I'm glad that you know, because I don't think applied energistics is
course.
a thing anymore.
No, I'm sure it is. No, I've seen recent YouTubers doing modded Minecraft, and there was, I don't know, maybe it's not called applied energistics anymore, but there was definitely that same like storage via hard drives and stuff
Yeah.
in the same like center console, crafting modules, stuff like that. That's definitely still a thing.
I was building storage systems in applied energistics before I was building computers.
Oh yeah, I'd
Anywho.
rather be doing that instead of school. You know, can I just interject this story real quick?
Yes.
This is actually a thought I've been having recently. Like, genuinely, really recently. So I'm so happy that you brought up modded Minecraft. Unintentionally, but you did. So we're living right now in this society where technology is taking over the world.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Right.
And I often, and because I live in this kind of household where, you know, I know where they're coming from. I live in a household where my entire family, they came from Laos. They escaped from Laos with literally nothing with the clothes on their backs, and they came to America via boat, being sponsored by a random, just white people that's in America, and they got just shipment dropped into Portland, where they had to live in tiny apartments and they picked berries to get money, that type of shit, right? And I will never discount that. But times are different because they did really well. They all went to college, well, except one, but she's doing fine. She owns a business, so who cares? Everyone's doing great. They all have kids. Here I am, right? And
Right.
here my younger cousins are, right? And my niece and nephews, right? So now there's a position, there's a position in which time is moving forward incredibly as far as we move into the technological age, because when we were kind of growing up in the 2000s, that's kind of when the technological age didn't start, but began kind of maturing, I guess. Like finding its way, becoming more normal, right? That's when the internet started happening.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the boom was right around like the late 2000s to early 2010s. Like once the first iPhone came out, I think that was when
Yeah.
things just started going fucking crazy.
Right, when people are on MySpace and they can blog and talk to each other through their computers for the very first time, basically. And when the first
Right.
iPhone came out, and we can text each other with a virtual little screen display thing that we can see,
A touch screen.
a touch screen. Yeah, we could touch and interact with, that type of thing. That's kind of when we
Right.
grew up. And we are still watching it kind of advance, but it's advancing so fast. That was only like, what, 20 years ago?
The iPhone? No, that was
Less than that.
2007.
Right.
I think
so
was when
less
the
than
first
that.
iPhone came
Less
out.
than that. Look where we are now. Oh, I guess that makes sense because the way they schemed it. I could have mathed that. But look where we are now, not just with the iPhone, but with technology in general, right? We're talking to each other with a free app, recording with a free communication app, while I'm recording with the free app with our relatively expensive cameras. Yours more so than mine. We're in a
Right.
really interesting situation where technology is just so feasibly ready that why would you not use it? Why would you not do it? There's no reason. Now, did I just ruin the entire Amish community? Maybe, but we don't live in
Fucking
we're right
got
here
'em.
where technology is so important to society that you can't live without it no matter how hard you try. And that's not a bad thing. It's just we're just adapting to it, and it's something that the previous generation, and oftentimes maybe sometimes even our generation, won't understand as the newer generation figures it out. For example, I was talking before how my younger cousin, who may be watching this, if you are, please stop watching. We curse a lot, but if you are, wear headphones. Ask your mom for headphones because you don't have headphones. Stop using your speakers. Learn to use headphones. If you are
Please.
watching this, yes, please. If you are watching this, hi. I know he wants to be on here, but I'll think about that. He has been making YouTube shorts, and he's been attempting to make YouTube videos. Well, just YouTube shorts. Attempting to make content, right? And he is a very smart kid. Kids are smart. Kids are smarter than we all make them out to be, because the only time we ever see kids is when they're like freaking out for video or whatever, They're crying,
Right.
throwing tantrums, probably coked out. Maybe not. That was a joke. You know what I mean?
Not anymore. That
Not
was in
anymore.
the 30s.
That was in the 30s. Well, and now that we have technology, when we were growing up, oh God, I said it. I'm so sorry I said that. I'm so sorry.
Back in my
day. I hate using those words, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
When we were growing up, it was the beginning of technology where we were figuring it out. And because of that, the previous generation were like, stop being on your Game Boys all the time, on your DSs and your iPhone 5s and shit. Stop doing that. You got to go outside and stuff. And, to my parents' credit, they did a good job. I was able to have a kind of a balance of playing Pokemon Silver on my Game Boy and then also going outside to throw a football. Now, I was still a pretty chunky kid, but, I did my best to get my vitamin C or D. Which one's the sun?
D.
This is nuts. I did my best, right? But now it's a little different, and it's oftentimes really hard to pry kids off of. I mean, every kid has a tablet now. Every kid has an iPad. They have to have an iPad. No kid I know doesn't have an iPad.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. Like
You don't like that?
I know. No, not at all.
Not a big fan.
No. because to me it almost seems like they're eliminating the opportunity for creativity, because instead of like going off and playing with toys and like trying to use your imagination to come up with the own world that you put yourself in when you're that age, like, you know, when we were younger, it was like Legos and a whole bunch of stuff that like tangibly you would create something and then just kind of dick around with it and play with it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, you know, you would get action figures or dolls or whatever
Mm-hmm.
was your cup of tea. Um, but now it's just become like, it almost seems, and I've seen this with like kids that are like in my family, where it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, they're sticking their noses in tablets and stuff, and like they know, they are so smart. And like my nephew, he has like a little tablet that he
Mm-hmm.
plays with, and there was this game that I saw on his tablet that I used to play a lot when I was a teenager, and it's the
Jetpack Joyride.
no do you remember the game
Angry
Flow?
Birds. Flow.
The-
Do I?
it's where you would try to like connect the colors together, and like you would have to make sure that they didn't intersect with other colors. It was just like a weird line puzzle
I
game.
think I do know. Was it just like an old iPhone game?
Yeah.
Okay. It
um
sounds like an old iPhone
apparently
game.
apparently it's still a thing. And so I saw
Good
it
for
on
them.
his I saw it on his iPad, and so I was like, "Oh, have you played this game before?" And he was like, "No, not yet." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll show you how it works." And so I showed him how to play the game, and like he immediately like just got it.
Right.
And like the problem solving abilities of kids, especially if you give them the opportunity to try to figure it out on their own, is amazing. And so I guess it's kind of hard for me to see these kids who have the opportunity to learn so much just like sucked into this virtual world that is bad enough for people who are our age, who are in their, you know, early to mid 20s, who are like obsessed with social media and all that kind of stuff. And like, you know, it's a very slippery slope, and it's such an intoxicating thing that like it's hard for me to look at a kid who's like 4 years old who's on an iPad, you know, and feel like that's a good thing for them, because I know that if I would have grown up earlier than I did, or like it, you know, if I would have not been given the things that I was when I was a kid, you know, I might have turned out differently, just because like we back in my day,
Back in my day.
when we grew up, it was like the first opportunity that kids really had unrestricted access to the internet. And I'm sure that it was definitely like that in earlier generations, or like even the generation prior to ours, but it really became so easily accessible when you and I were young.
Mm-hmm.
And so honestly, like a part of me feels like the internet kind of sucked all of the innocence out of us.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I would agree. I mean, based off of what we find funny, based off of what we're, uh, what's the word? Um, I can't remember. Desensitized, I suppose. How desensitized we are to
yeah.
certain subject matters nowadays. So I'm going to argue with that because I think there's a caveat to that, where I mentioned before that because the point of me bringing up kids and bringing up my younger cousin is that you mentioned applied energistics and how, and I think you can agree that that takes a bit of discipline to understand.
That shit's hard.
That shit is very hard. And these technical mod packs, I mean, the other that one mod pack is called Technic, right? Tech It's a game.
Tech it.
Technic, Tech It. It is Tech It.
Tech it.
What am I
Yeah.
thinking of? There's a fighting game that's Tekken, but I'm thinking Tech It. I'm thinking Arby's. There's those type of mod packs that are actual technically challenging type of games. So what if 5-year-old Jimmy watching his favorite Minecraft YouTubers, playing Tekkit. Say, I want to play Tekkit. But lucky for Timmy, his mom bought him a $3,000 computer to play Fortnite on. All right. So after we passed that, Jimmy or Timmy, what did I say? So Timmy, he goes onto his Fortnite computer and he installs Minecraft Tekkit Pack Launcher, Mod Pack Launcher. And he starts learning.
I'm trying to remember what launcher that is.
I think it was just the Tekkit launcher. Because I know there's other launchers. There's like the AT launcher. There's probably other launchers these days. I think Tekkit. Oh, actually, no. I guess Tekkit probably would have been on someone else's launcher. That's besides the point. He gets that launcher. He plays some Tekkit. He has no fucking clue what he's doing. He's 5. He can barely read. 3 years passed, and now he's 8. And he's made different worlds. He's explored different places and different biomes, and he's made all sorts of contraptions, automatic farms, storage units, all these types of things. When I think about that, I relate to that with my younger cousin who is getting into things. I mentioned before remember when I said, I think I mentioned it before in this podcast, but I was hanging out with him, and he was on his iPad playing Minecraft, and he goes, Arthur, let me show you this. I means like older. So like older brother, older, when you prefix with I. So Arthur, look at this. And I will go and look at it. And he's in creative mode, and he's up in the sky about 30 or 40 so blocks, and he has a Minecraft villager that's kind of
you've talked about this on the show
yes,
before.
There's a little platform with a Minecraft villager on one side of a wall and a zombie on the other side. And then along the platform is a path that forks into two, or that diverges into two different paths. One is, what did I say it was? I can't remember what it was. I think it was just pressure plate, sand, TNT, classic pitfall trap. And then the other one was a solid bridge of some sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see which side the villager picks. And he does it, and he breaks open the wall. The zombie chases the villager. The villager goes, and he picks one of the sides, and he goes, oddly, for the one that has the TNT traps. Villager falls and dies. I go, wow, that was fucked. I didn't say that in those words, but you know what I mean. And he goes, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why he went on that path. So as he continues to play Minecraft, about maybe 2 years or so later, he comes over to my house, and I'm babysitting him for a night, and he wants to play Minecraft. I'm like, thank fuck, because I don't know anything else you guys are playing except Minecraft, and Minecraft is the only thing that I can relate to you guys with. So we play Minecraft. He goes on his phone, or he's on his tablet that keeps dying because he never charges it. And then I'm like, fuck it. I mean, we're on Minecraft. I'm still on Bedrock on my laptop. I'm not gonna play Minecraft on my phone. Who the fuck does that? So I got it on my laptop. So we were playing Minecraft, together. While I was on my laptop, he was on his tablet, and we were just doing a survival world. And we're just playing, and he's building. We're just having fun. He's making farms and stuff, and we're just having just a casual playthrough. And then eventually, at some point, we beat the Ender Dragon.
Probably did it faster than in the speedruns.
Yeah, probably. No, I mean, it was a multiple day excursion, to be fair, but it was a good time. And to me, I find it fascinating that he's able to even do that to such capacity, because Minecraft in of itself is not a game with instructions. It's purely a game of understanding and learning, watching others and learning from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
that is a skill set that is important in continuing on in society. It's not schoolwork and bookwork. It's adaptability, and that's something that I've begun to see from him. Imagine if, and this is not something he's been super duper into, but imagine if, I mean, not him specifically, but another kid gets into redstone at an early age.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Redstone, for those who don't know, is basically engineering in Minecraft. It's Minecraft's own engineering language, which is fascinating if you look at what these redstone Minecraft YouTubers can do. It's incredible. Imagine if they get into that. And if they get into that, it's not something that they're forced to do. It's something that they saw their favorite Minecraft creator do, and they say, I want to do that too. They try and do it. They make their first piston door. Wow, that was cool. I wonder why this works, how that works. Why does this redstone touch this and that? Repeater, how far can the repeater spread the redstone dust? And then all of a sudden, they're 3 years old, and they made a butt switch.
I don't even know how to do that.
I don't either. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. There's one specific thing. I don't even remember if that's what it's called, but it's some sort of thing where you do something and with like a piston, and then it activates this kind of. That's besides the point. It's these type of games where I imagine that when we look at kids with tablets these days, we're basically like our parents looking at us when we were their age, but with our Game Boys and DS. Like, why don't they just fucking go out and do something, or why don't they do this and do that? But when we're on our Game Boys and on our tablets and our search of internet, honestly, internet still wasn't that prevalent unless they finally gave you that tablet or that phone. But if you weren't there, you know, you're just playing. I was just playing Pokemon Silver and figuring it out. I can barely read, but I beat the game. You know, and
So I have a clarification once you're done.
Sure. I just think that okay. Let me rephrase that in a way that I sound more confident. I think it's good that kids are playing on tablets and stuff. However, I'm going to rephrase myself as well because I think they definitely have to be monitored, depending on their age. But they should be monitored by their parents, in the sense like just so they know what they're doing, because the internet is a very scary place, which is probably what you're going to say. The internet is a very scary place. It's very sucky. Here's a good example. So I mentioned that my younger cousin, same cousin, he wanted to do YouTube Shorts, and this entire time he's been using his dad's old phone, his old like iPhone 7 or something, and he's been making shorts, and he's just been using his dad's account. Then he was like, I don't want to use my dad's account anymore. I want to make my own account. Okay, cool. So he goes to me. I set up an account. I set up an email. I set up a YouTube account and everything. And then I get to the age. I get to when you pick the age. Now, Zach, I don't. If in case you didn't know, you have to be 13 years old to upload on YouTube. That's fair.
It's scary that it's that young. Honestly,
I agree, but I mean, at 13, okay, sure, fine. But we see younger kids all the time, so I'm like, that's confusing. But that makes sense because they're probably managed by adults, by their parents, right? For the younger kid channels, right? But this is not going to be managed by his parents. His parents don't understand this stuff. It's going to be, I guess, managed by me, but he's going to be using this YouTube account. So I can't. So I tried making it at like his age, which was like 8, I think it was. I forget. I'm sorry. And
horrible.
That didn't work. Oh, I can't Arthur, I can't upload YouTube videos. You can't? Oh, you can't. That's weird. You have to be 13. Okay. Well, I can't change the age now, so let's just make another email. So I made another email and I made another YouTube account. And this time I was like, screw it. I'll just make it like 20. I don't know. Who cares? I make it 20 and I am like, okay, so make sure YouTube works or whatever. And I'm scrolling and then right off the bat, porn ads.
Jesus.
Not porn ads. Sorry, just like dating ads, right? With like just a high standard young beautiful woman with large personality. GoDaddy.com. And I'm like, really? On YouTube? Are you kidding me?
I guess we don't realize it because like I'm sure that stuff pops up for us too.
I mean, I'm on YouTube Premium, so I don't see that very often. So that's why I was really flabbergasted to see it. But before I was on YouTube Premium, I did notice there was, okay, I would never imagine there to be so, because I just imagine if there was like a family YouTube account that your dad made who's like 30 or 40, I don't remember seeing that stuff. Is it because of what I look up? I mean, I'll be honest. I don't look up that stuff. I don't look up dating things.
Right.
I'll be honest. It's not what I look up personally. So I was confused. We've all seen the Naruto ads. I'm not hiding nothing. We've all seen them.
Yeah.
We've all seen the Naruto games, and we've all seen all these things. I've never seen these ads before. So I'm like, what the fuck? That's very strange. So first I started like, okay, I'll just hit the triple dots and say this ad is irrelevant. You know what I mean? And I do this for about 5 minutes as I keep scrolling, and then I keep refreshing, and it doesn't change. They just keep popping up for different websites. So I'm like, okay, this is just bot ad spamming. That's all this is. We've seen this before. But I'm like, really? On YouTube? But when I think about it, it's Google. And this is just Google ads that anybody, literally anybody, can pay for and submit and will get just shot out everywhere. But I know YouTube isn't necessarily family friendly, but really? I was like, seriously? Right. That's so on YouTube. These ads, that's okay. where these things need to be monitored. That's the thing that scares me the most, because I'm not, that's just not a thing that I am comfortable with sharing to my younger cousin. Listen, if he wants to figure it out for himself, he can figure it out for himself. I'm not here to show him that. We all figure it out for ourselves. We'll all get there at some point. Just what happens, But how easily that was is just fine. I didn't even try to. I just made a YouTube account, and all I did was set my age to 20.
So,
what if he did that? What if he set his age to 20?
Right. So, we're on a good place right now, but I do want to backpedal a little bit and just backpedaling. So the clarification that I was wanting to make earlier, was along a very similar vein to what you were talking about, where it was like, it's a good thing if it's monitored for kids to have access to technology and like all of that kind of stuff. The clarification that I would like to make is that I don't think that technology should be a supplement to parenting. Like,
right. Like stuffing an iPad so you don't have to watch your kid.
Yeah, just putting a tablet in front of a kid's face so that they'll stop bothering you.
That's what I knew you were going for, so that's fine.
Yeah. But as far as like YouTube ads and that kind of stuff, it's such a weird situation, because I think about it with the power of hindsight, but also thinking about when I was 13, or like, when I was way younger, watching YouTube and realizing the types of shit that I was watching on YouTube. But also at the same time, it doesn't make sense, because there's all of these ads for like dating apps and all of that kind of stuff, but also at the same time, they're trying to like make this family friendly image for advertisers and stuff. But yet they're advertising, like, sometimes they're advertising some really raunchy shit. Like,
no, I saw one. Oh my god, I screenshotted it because it was actually fucked. I was like, what the fuck? What is this? And it was more or less just like a porn video. More or less, like some softcore porn video. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was like some beautiful girl, like straddling, well, they're not intercoursing, but you know what I mean, right? They're embracing. They're full of skinship with her man, and the title of it was literally, and this isn't an ad that plays in the beginning of the video. It's an ad that you see when you're scrolling, right? And the title was, I can't remember. Oh, I think it was some like, it was just some like I know you want me type of, it's like literally like in those words almost. I was like,
that's a thing
on YouTube?
Dude, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And like, I don't understand it, because it's like,
I don't know,
so backwards.
I've never signed up or paid for one of those YouTube ad things, but I took a class of which we looked into that, and it is literally just, you just pay for an ad and then you just see if Google will spit it out somewhere. And I think that's a big problem, and it's that's not marked by anything. Like, it's not marked as a porn ad, or that wasn't even porn, so maybe that's how they got off, or that's how they didn't get flagged for it, because it wasn't porn. It was just a video of a beautiful woman and a hot dude, right? Or a dating app, right?
Or like a sci-fi fantasy game or something like that,
right?
Like,
but these ones, like these dating app ones I mentioned, they're all from different places. They're all from different websites, different brands or whatever. So it's probably, it's obvious. It's just a bot just spitting out different URLs or whatever, different dating app names and titles or whatever, and just spitting different ones out. So that way, if you block one, you still get the other one.
Yeah, that's the scariest part. Is
very scary.
It sucks, because I think about a lot of things with the idea of if there's a will, there's a way. Like
Mhm.
if you want to make something work, if you want to solve a problem, you will solve it
Mhm.
if you try hard enough. But that also can be applied to the people who are trying to do some really weird, malicious bullshit. And so when we're talking about like all of these crazy ads with all of the dating app ads, like the example that you were talking about earlier with your cousin, it's like if there's a will, there's a way. Obviously, you know, if that is something that they are trying to push, they're going to go to great lengths to make sure that all of that stuff, all of those advertisements go out to those people.
Mhm.
So it's like it's such a complicated issue, and I feel like it would be impossible for us to encapsulate everything just even over the course of just one conversation,
Oh
because
yeah, no.
not only is it difficult for us to really speak on it.
Oh yeah. My only
be-
thing, no, sorry. The only thing for me, I'm going to continue to defend that though. Just kids being on kids being on technology and stuff. Just simply because that's just where the future is headed.
oh right, yeah, no,
That's yeah, that's
I see
only
that.
there's just going to be this balancing act of how the one okay, so what I will say that is what I think is going to be important is that we're going to adapt into that as well because we're going to be the parents of that generation now because these younger kids are still not quite like some of us our age are because now we're 23 technically, so some of us do have kids. Um,
Jesus
those
Christ, I don't want to think about that.
so those kids may, depending on how those young parents our age will figure it out if they're able to figure it out. Those kids may be better, well mannered than the current generation, where those kids are still the previous generation. Does that make sense? Like it's still like our parents type of age, maybe a
Hmm.
little, maybe just like mid like 30s, I guess, right? Like their
Hmm.
30s or 40s that are having kids that are still in this weird limbo that's in between our generation and then the generation when we have kids,
Right.
like this in between. So that when those 30, 40-year-olds are the parents, they're still in that previous generation that don't understand technology as much as we do as 20-year
Right.
olds. So when we
Hmm.
become parents, we may have that better judgment as we are those that are pro technology, but also understand how technology can be bad and be used for
Right.
evil and also just a really fucked up place to be in. So with that kind of foresight, we can probably we would hope, right? We would hope that we
Yeah.
could probably steer that generation the correct way. So that means that we're just this is gonna sound bad, sorry. We're basically just throwing this kind of in between generation that we're in right now under the bus until we have kids. So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then we correct them.
I mean, here's the craziest part though is
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, we have such a unique perspective
Mm-hmm.
because our generation, people who were born from like 98 to 2003, like
Right.
the right at the turn of the century, those kids were the kids who grew up on super early YouTube. The YouTube as a website was basically created in 2006, right? So we were really really young,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the moderation of what was accessible for younger people wasn't really a huge hot button issue until we were already teenagers, you know,
Right.
like you think about a lot of videos that were doing the rounds when we were younger. They were like stuff that you wouldn't even see on any mainstream social media platform anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I think we have the unique perspective that we are able to look at it with the power of hindsight. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the kind of stuff that we saw that we realize now we shouldn't have seen when we were
Right.
younger? Or like what are the types of influences that we should or should not have from these people who are on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen so many examples of people taking advantage of that as well. So it's like I definitely agree that we are going to have such a unique opportunity to really be able to teach people how to be careful on the internet. And especially since, I mean, the internet's not going anywhere, man. Like,
no. It's here to stay.
It's not, it's here to stay, and it's just kind of become a part of culture. So it's definitely going to be very, very fascinating to see as the generations go on how that's going to change and how people's view on the internet is going to change in later years, you know?
Right.
But it's a very interesting topic to kind of delve into, because we're getting to that age, man. Like,
I know.
I have friends that are married. I have friends that have kids.
Yeah.
Andy has kids, you know, like it's so fucking crazy. But I mean, it's cool to think that we are of the generation of people who are going to instill information and teach people. Like, I that's what I'm excited about, is just teaching people stuff and being like, hey, this is what I went through. Like, don't watch gore videos. Like, it's fucked up, man. Like, don't do it.
Don't watch gore videos. He says as we watched Happy Tree Friends.
Right. With the power of hindsight.
With the power of hindsight. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We were the guinea pigs. Pigs. You know?
For sure.
We were the guinea pigs. We were the watching Smosh 2010, boobs in the thumbnail. We were there. And now we're like, maybe boobs in the thumbnail wasn't the best idea. Well,
I mean, it was great at the time.
It was great at the time. Yeah, it's great. Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate it. Check out the other videos that we have. Subscribe if you haven't. We love this podcast. We love you guys so much, and we love recording as much as possible. Hopefully the Discord episodes have not been too jarring, but I mean, we've been kind of having a lot of fun. It's kind of fun to kind of just dink around with different set ideas and different cameras. I mean, we both have nice cameras, and you know, we both have abnormally large rooms, so it's fun to
for sure.
It's fun to just stick our cameras somewhere and just kind of have a different vibe. We've been here for 100 episodes, 100 plus episodes. You know, it's good to spice it up every now and then, and it's a good way to also refine the Discord episodes, so that way now we're like, all right, let's just do a Discord episode one day, you know, and we totally fine with it.
Dude, I've really loved the creativity that's come from having these types of episodes, because you know, this setup, I literally set this up in like 15 minutes just because I was like, I need to do something a little bit different. And like the last episode, I was just sitting on my couch, and it was so much fun. And I really hope, what I'm really hoping is that we could take this creativity and put it into the set that we have right now for the podcast when we're in person again.
Yes, that would be great. I don't know how. The only way I could think of that is if I decide to finally rotate my setup and have because the way I was thinking was, not to jump into another subject, but once I do redo my setup, we will have a dedicated Uned set.
Right.
Because right now it's just, we just have two chairs that kind of encapsulate different sets in this room as backdrops, but we would have a dedicated Uned set if I were to do this move. So I'll think about it. I want to make sure I have everything planned out accordingly before I do so, because it's a lot of fucking work.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, but yes, thank you everybody. Check out other videos that are popping up right now. Subscribe, check us out. We're always happy to talk. And anything to say, Zach?
I love your face. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna run away now because I can do that because I have cables that are long enough.
Oh God! Oh, he's running his cable. I mean, I can kind of do that, but then I have to go back and pause the video.
Ah, shit.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Run away!
Run away!